guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Unfinished Acre. Glad you're along for this week's video. This week's video is all about fire. I guess I've had one other video about fire and that didn't go so well, so I might encourage you to go look back on that video where I talk about gas is still flammable. I think you'll get a kick out of that. But this week's video is all about fire pits. Behind me, you'll see our fire pit. We constructed this in late fall. I think it was November. We had a really beautiful fall here in eastern North Dakota, and it allowed me to get a few extra projects done in that last month right up before, well, what you can see behind me, winter. It is a pretty nice day today. It's chilly, you know, it's in the high teens, not a lot of wind, so it's okay weather for being out here and sharing a few moments with you guys. So this week's video is all about constructing the fire pit. Just wanted to give you kind of a sense of the lay of the land. We're down here along the Red River. This is what I call the park. I'm just going to spin around here and show you guys. We talk a little bit in the video about how we've improved all this area, and I'm going to bring another video to you guys in the next few months, hopefully sharing a lot more detail about how the park came to be. If you can use your imagination, just think about what you see behind me, and then imagine this basically full of trees, full of deadfall, log jams, all kinds of brush. Over the last 19 years since owning this property, since we started, at some point we said, you know what, we need a view of the river. We live on the river, we need a view. And that's kind of how the park came to be. But today's video, again, is all about how we just made one little improvement here in the park, and that's with the construction of the fire pit. So I hope you enjoy this week's video. Thanks for following along. Time for a new project. Welcome back to the channel. It's windy today, so hopefully that wind isn't too loud for everybody. This is probably the last nice day of the fall. It is absolutely beautiful, outside of it being a little windier, but the clock is really ticking on any last fall projects, and this is one I'm pretty excited about. I've been thinking about it a long time. So I'll be brief here, but we are down in the park. Talked about this a few times, continue to just develop this whole area. I'll try to throw some pictures in here as I talk about this. Used to be quite a few trees in here that we took out, lots of deadfall over the years. When we do get a little heavier flood, the river floods this area. In some cases where I'm standing is 10 feet, 20 feet underwater. And then as the water recedes, it leaves all that deadfall. It gets piled up in these trees like a log jam, literally a log jam. Why they've such the phrase, right? Coined the phrase. And it's just been a mess. So over the last probably 10 years ago, I started cleaning this up. Now we're literally developing it to the point where today I'm going to start. Never done a lot of this work, so I'm learning as I go to lay some pavers. Showed you those there for a fire pit. Again, another project, right? Unfinished Acre. It's all about what can we do next? What can we improve next? Next year, I'd like to get this improved. I'm hesitant to want to do a lot of work down here because in the summer sometimes that is certainly underwater or very close. You can see now how low the water is, the river level, but that's for next year. So gonna do some measuring, maybe get some stakes, just try to get an idea of design. I've been thinking about it a lot in my head. I think I know how I want to do it. This is not level at all. It's definitely pitched to the river, which the more I think about it is probably okay. I don't have a compactor, you know, to get the soil nice and hard, so I'm a little worried about how that's going to affect my my pavers, but I'm just kind of winging it. Those pavers were actually from the house that used to be on the second property that we own, the 1 acre property. So I salvaged those 6 years ago, maybe more, something like that, 2019. Anyway, salvaged those years ago, put them on a pallet. They've been sitting up on the top side. I just thought someday there'll be a use. Why should I get rid of them? And they're perfectly fine. They're 16 square, so they're good size. So I want to put them down here and just see how it goes. So glad you're along for the video today, tagging along on the ride here, and look forward to sharing this as I hopefully develop this into kind of a fun fire pit area. So after creating a nice warm bed for Tucker, I started by excavating some of the dirt next to this windbreak. Basically a small fence that I put in last fall. Not sure it breaks a lot of wind, but gives it a little character. So I knew I was high up on that area next to the windbreak, and I knew I was low down by the river, so I began the process of checking the level and slowly and surely moving dirt from the high areas down to the low areas. Now, with this being pitched towards the river, it's probably not a bad thing. It allows water to run off and not pool in one area. So it was just a process of going back and forth, removing dirt, putting it down to the low area, raking it relatively flat or smooth, and then using the good old feet as the plate compactor. As I mentioned, we're all going to wonder why I didn't have one, and the honest truth is I don't own one, and I didn't really feel like buying one for just this project. So, as we often say, we're just going to wing it. So I repeated this step a few times over and over until I thought, you know what, we're pretty dang close. It's probably time to set the first pad. Okay, got the first 2 rows done. I think if I felt like I had lots of time and I was really being particular, I would do this different. I'd get a soil compactor, probably get some sand, and really fine tune this. I hope I don't regret this decision, but I kind of want to have it done before winter. I feel like if it's totally wrong, terrible, I can redo it next year, which it's not the smartest way to do things, but you know, this is a rural setting. This is a farm. We're not trying to win some magazine cover photo shoot. So, you know, is it perfect? No. I think it's going to look pretty good. I'm going to go probably 2 more rows and then the fire pit. You can kind of see in this right corner, you know, it's obviously not level. So it's close, but it's not perfect. And that's hard for me sometimes. Like I have to just accept that I can get it perfect, but then I need to go to town. I need to get a compactor. I need to get sand. I need to push this project into tomorrow. That's fine, you know. It's always another day. But am I going to care in 6 months or 2 years when I can come down here and enjoy it? I don't think so. So after making sure Tucker was nice and tidy warm on his bed and establishing that we weren't looking for perfection, this became a pretty methodical process. Rinse and repeat, I guess, as they say. I was really enjoying the day, and I'm not sure if it was because of the beautiful fall weather, the optimism of how this project would hopefully turn out, or just because I was working with my hands. For those of you that work with your hands, or those who have done projects like this, I think you totally get it. When you do projects like this where you're up and down and you're working with your hands, there's a physical element to it. It seems more rewarding. Now, is it better than running a tractor or a piece of equipment? I think they're just different. I sure love running equipment, but I also really enjoy projects like this. We've also established that there's probably a better way to do this. A professional would have lots of sand on hand, a plate compactor to create a great base. They would do all kinds of leveling, and, you know, it would probably be perfect. Now, hopefully for the last time I'll say it, I wasn't looking for perfect. I was looking for function. I want to be able to come down on a fall day and sweep away the leaves, or in the winter, remove the snow, and just enjoy a great fire as we look out on the river. So I'm starting to make some good progress around these trees, putting these 16 by 16 salvaged pavers into place, and it's really starting to look like something. And again, I am enjoying every moment. Well, I turned the camera around because it only seems right that I share this beautiful view with all of you guys. This is the river that I've been blessed to enjoy for the last 19 years and hopefully many, many more years to come. Probably makes a little more sense now why I continue to develop along the river, just because of how awesome this is and a perfect place for this fire pit. So here we are in phase 2, building the fire pit. Before I go too far, I got to spend a few minutes entertaining the dog. Tucker needs his playtime too. Then it's time to put the gloves back on and get to work. So what I'm working with here is another pallet of salvaged items. These are 4-inch by 8-inch paver bricks or blocks. I was fortunate to donate the house on the other property to a local community, and they repurposed it for a family. So it was really a gift for all of us, and I did save these pavers. I figured someday I'll want to build something. Well, that day was today. I didn't have a design in mind. I didn't have a blueprint. I was, again, just winging it. I knew I didn't want to run out of blocks, and I wanted to have function. I was thinking about building a fire and then walking away at the end of the day and having it controlled inside of this fire pit. So function was very important. It's kind of like playing with Legos. You're just building as you go and seeing what comes at the end. I knew once I got the adhesive, I could lock them all in, and hopefully I'll have a pretty cool fire pit. Well, I just pushed through. I don't normally do that. I have found lately that, well, number one, you recognize your faults, I guess. When I do a project, I tend to drag it on for an extended period of time. Truly. I think I make projects that could take, let's say, 4 hours, turn them into days. So the last couple projects here, I've just been like, that's it. We're just going to push through. And I did that today. Now, is it perfect? Nope. But is it pretty dang cool? Yeah, it is. Well, here's the end result. Certainly not professional by any means. Obviously got some glue on the face of the bricks. Does it matter to me? No, it really doesn't. This is a rural, along the river fire pit. I'm not looking to win any awards, but I am pleased, generally very pleased. I did look up the adhesives, and it is not necessarily rated for fire, so I do run the risk. I'm well aware that if we get a good hot fire in there, some of those bricks, well, the glue may come loose. So be it. Then I'll get some different adhesive and fix it. But I've never worked with masonry block like this. I've never cut any block before. Diamond blade, like many other YouTube videos that I watched, works great. Works perfect, actually. It's easy. Ideally, I'd have a bigger grinder if I was cutting anything thicker than these blocks, just because you can barely get through it with that blade. But I'm kind of tickled about this, you know. Again, when you've never done something and you do it for the first time, it's just kind of fun to see how it goes. Then next time when I do it, you know, I'll raise the expectation a little bit more on the quality that I'm looking for. I just wanted a place where we can come, have a fire pit, you know, that it's safe. It's not going to hopefully get down into the river bottom and cause some fire. You can see we got it built up here on this side where, you know, any embers and whatnot might get out into the grass. But bottom line, I'm very pleased. It's a good start. If I want to redo it in a few years, It's just another project here on the acre. So glad you guys could tag along. I'm sure there'll be comments on how to do things a little different, a little better. And I'm wide open to that. You know, critique is a wonderful thing in life. You can learn a lot from other people's experiences. So thanks for being along with this project. Thanks for tuning in again this week. Appreciate you guys following along, helping me build this new channel. Like I said, Unfinished Acre is all about building a community of property owners, DIY guys and gals, those that just love projects. If you're driven like me to just always have 1 or 2 or 10 projects that you're thinking about, this is the right place for you. I welcome the critique, the ideas, the questions, the comments, anything that a community would really do for one another to make it better. So thanks for following along on this week's video. This is the Unfinished Acre.